presenting what we call today the present continuous or the present progressive. So anytime you see this title, whether it is progressive or continuous, it refers to the same tense in English. So this is lesson number 4, the present continuous tense. So as usual, when we talk about any lesson, we talk about the form, which is like a rule that we follow in order to have our sentences written in this particular tense. So for the present progressive tense or for the present continuous tense, we usually start with the subject, and after the subject we have one form of verb to be, and this means we are either going to have am, is, or are. Then we have the verb, and with the verb we have a form of an ing, then the rest of the sentence. Let's have a simple example. We are studying English. Subject, we. Then verb to be, which is are in this example. We are, then the verb, that is the verb study, followed by an ing. So studying, we are studying English. So English is the rest of the sentence. So this means when I say verb to be, I can have an option of adding am or is and are, but those options depend on what type of subject do I have. So the verb to be am would come with the subject I, while is come with he and she and it, and are would come with the rest of the pronouns. So this will come with they, we, you. So depending on what subject you choose verb to be. They are playing football. Subject, one form of verb to be, then we have the verb plus ing, then the rest of the sentence. Now how about other subject, which are singular subject? She is studying English. Subject, verb to be, then the verb followed by an ing and the rest of the sentence. She is studying English. He is the subject, this is verb to be, and this is a verb followed by an ing and then the rest of the sentence. So subject, one form of verb to be, then the verb followed by an ing form, then the rest of the sentence. So any sentence in the present continuous or the present progressive tense would start with subject, one form of verb to be, then followed by the form with an ing, or the form of the verb and the ing attached to it, then the rest of the sentence. Now what are the uses of the present continuous tense? Similarly, we have different uses for this tense. So number one, we use the simple continuous or the simple progressive tense when we talk about actions happening right now. Actions happen at the moment. Actions happen at the moment of speech. Number two, actions happening these days, but not necessary right now. So it is not necessary that I'm doing the action right now. Number three, it talks about actions happening near the future. So it talks about actions that express the future in a way or another. Let's take some examples related to those uses. Number one, so the first usage of the present continuous tense is actions happening right now, at this moment, at the moment of speech. They are cleaning the windows. So this means that they are cleaning the windows right now. The action refers to activity that happens at the time of speech. He is studying for the exam. So basically he is studying at this moment right now for the exam. The boys are playing in the garden. So at this moment the boys are playing in the garden. So if you still remember when we talked about determining any time related to any tense in English, we said we are in a point which is the present, and any action that is before the present would be the past, and similarly anything after would be the future. When we talk about an action that is in the present, it means it happens here in the present, right now, at the moment of speaking. For example, I'm speaking English now. At this moment, right now, the action is happening. It happens at a point, or basically it is in progress at a point in time when in the present. So it is happening right now, it is in progress, it is in the present. For example, I am teaching English, and this means I am teaching English now, right now, at this point of speech. The action is happening now while I'm talking. The action is in progress. The action is progressing right now. Number 2 is when we talk about actions or activities that are happening these days, but not necessary now, not necessary at the time of speak. She is writing a research paper. Now imagine somebody who is writing her research paper. This doesn't mean that she is writing the research paper now. It means that probably she has started writing this a few days ago, and she might write something today, something tomorrow, but not necessary at the time of speak. So if you are asking me, what are you doing nowadays? Well, I am teaching at King Faisal University, for example, but this doesn't mean I am teaching at King Faisal University at the right moment or at this moment. It means I'm doing this at certain time, probably something today, something tomorrow, but not necessary at the moment of speech. She is writing a research paper. They are reading for the exam, so probably the exam will last up to 1 month, so they started reading from yesterday. They will read something today, probably tomorrow they will also read something or prepare something for the exam. So the action does not really happen at the moment of speech, but it is not necessary at the moment of speech, but it happens those days, probably sometimes at some point yesterday, something will happen today, and something probably in the future. So the action is not necessary at the moment of speech, but it happens within this time, or within these days, for example. I am editing a book. So I have started editing this book probably a week ago. I will do something today, probably something in the following day or in the future, but not necessary at the moment of speech. So this is the second use. The third use, when we talk about an action that happened near the future, we use the symbol, the present continuous tense, to indicate actions that have a future reference. I am meeting some friends after work. So this shows that we can use the present continuous tense to express an activity or an action that will happen in the future, or basically near the future. But we are not using will, we are not using the future tools to indicate future, but we are using a present continuous or present progressive tense. So the present progressive tense can be used for expressing the future. I am meeting some friends after work. So which means the action is not happening right now. It will happen near the future when I finish my work, after my work. I am going to the party tonight. So suppose I was invited today, I am going to go tonight. So this will happen in the near future, probably at the evening. So not right now, but in the future. So the symbol, the present continuous, can express an idea that will happen in the future or near the future. He is visiting his parents next weekend. So next weekend he is going to go and visit his parents next weekend. So basically the action happens in the future. Basically the action has a reference to the future, in spite of the fact that the form of the verb is not a future. The form of the verb is basically present continuous or present progressive. So the present progressive tense can be used for indicating future event or future activities that are going to happen at some point in the future. Now, how to form negative statement or negative sentences in the present continuous tense? This is very easy because we can only add one form of verb to be followed by the negative article not. So similarly, we have all the pronouns. I will take am, you, we, they will take are, and he, she, it will take is. And after this form of verb to be, we add the negative article not in all cases. So it is only a matter of adding the one form of verb to be, the suitable one, and adding the negative article not. I am not studying. So the form of the verb stays in the present continuous. You are not studying. We are not studying. He is not studying. She is not studying. Now those forms are called contracted forms. So it is when you pronounce them a little bit differently. So you are not studying. You aren't studying. I am not studying. I'm not studying. So it is the form am here is contracted. So there is no a. I have contracted it. They aren't. He isn't, etc. So basically it is just adding the negative article not after one form of verb to be. So what do? You add the subject. After the subject you have verb to be. After verb to be you have the negation article not, then you continue the rest of the sentence. How about making sentences in the question? What we do in the question sentences or in the interrogative sentences, we reverse the subject and the verb. So if I have a sentence like he is studying, and I need to change this sentence into a question sentence or into an interrogative sentence. It is only a matter of reversing the places of the verb with the place of the subject. So he is studying is going to be is he studying? Is he studying? And I do not have to forget the question mark at the end. Is he studying? Yes, he does. Yes, he is, or no, he isn't, etc. So in the interrogative sentence, it is a matter of reversing the place of the subject with the place of the verb, so that we can get a question sentence or interrogative sentence. The following point is to talk about adding an ing to different verb forms final verb in here will appear. So most verbs in English will be formed by adding an ing by just adding the ing to the end of the verb. A common verb like walk would become walking. So it is just a matter of adding the ing to the end of the verb. Now, why we are doing this? Because sometimes we have some verbs like the verb come, and those verbs originally contain an e at the end. So what we need to understand is that we cannot say something like this. We cannot just add an ing to the verb which ends in an e. So what you do is you need to cross out this e, then you add your ing form. So a verb like come would become something like coming. a verb like create also ends in an E. So you cannot say something like creating in this way. This is not acceptable. You need to cross out this E. So your verb is going to be something like this. Creating, where the E is crossed out. You have to cross out your E. So when the verb ends with an E and you want to add an ing form, you need to delete this E before you add your ing form. So the verb would be something like coming rather than coming. So a verb like this would not be acceptable at all. Sometimes we have verbs that are originally ending in an IE sequence of letter, and an example of this would be verb like lie. Lie. And if you look at the end of the verb, it is lie. Now verb like those, we cannot just add an ing to the end. This is not acceptable to say lying, because the verb already has an IE. What you do in this case, if you have an IE at the end of the verb, you need to delete this IE and replace it by a Y, then you add your ing. So for a verb like lie, to put it in the progressive tense, you say something like this: lying, lying. So what you have done is that we have deleted, sorry, this is a verb, lie, it ends with an IE. We have deleted the IE and replaced it by Y, then we added the ing. This is the final form of the verb. So the verb ends in IE, you cross them out, then you add ing. So let's repeat this again. So if you want to change a verb like this into the progressive, you look at the end of the verb ends in IE following one another. It is not acceptable to say something like this: lying. This form is not acceptable. This is grammatically wrong. So if you have this ending of the verb, what you do, you cross out this and you replace it with Y. Then what you do, you add your ing at the end of the verb. So a verb like lie would become something like this: lying. So this also brings us to the end of this lecture. We have reviewed the simple present, we have talked about the present progressive tense, and this will give you an idea of the difference between progressive tense and simple present tense, where we talked about which we talked about in the previous lectures, where the difference in uses will make the differences clear. So thank you very much for attending, and hopefully we will meet in the following lecture or following lesson where we talk about a different tense. Thank you very much.